Hi guys, for this week's task we actually have to come up with a list of questions that we have regarding strategies for teaching and working with culturally and linguistically diverse students. And we specifically for this discussion post had to think of 2 questions we want to ask our classmates. So according to the reading, it was a lot about, for this week's reading was about increasing our knowledge and awareness of who culturally and linguistically diverse students are and what strategies we should do to help them. And I believe one of those strategies focused on being proactive as a teacher, specifically for one's own cultural self-development. On page 9, according to Vaughn on page 97, there was a list of tips for teachers about guidelines for working with culturally and linguistically diverse students. And I realized that a third of these guidelines focused on what a teacher's own cultural self-development should be like. It focused on developing cultural consciousness, becoming aware of one's own cultural background, becoming aware of cultural clashes, developing knowledge of cultural variability, and becoming knowledgeable about how culture influences the teaching/learning process. And the list goes on. And so as we are, I guess, we're in that process of becoming teachers, do any of you have any practical strategies or tips for how to develop one's own cultural self-development? So that's my first question. The second question that I have is, it's in regards to the multicultural education approach. As we know, the multicultural education it's more than a subject to be taught. It's more than learning about different cultures. It's something that runs throughout the whole curriculum. I love how they when they specifically defined it, they said that it's an educational movement, where the whole goal of it is to restructure the curriculum and educational institutions so that students of all backgrounds, of all social backgrounds, social class, racial backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, will have an opportunity to experience equal educational opportunities. And so there were 3 approaches in doing so. There was the contribution approach, there was the additive approach, and there was the transformation approach, and there was the social action approach. And apparently what I picked up from the reading, social action is what teachers and educators should aim for. However, as I was just reading through it, it just seemed like it's one that is easier to do probably with upper elementary, even more with middle schoolers and high schoolers. And so my question specifically is, how do you practically carry out a social action approach within the multicultural education forum with first graders? Do you guys have any experience, any ideas? I would genuinely appreciate them, because as I look into the future, I definitely want to be teaching that younger generation, those younger ones. And I was just struggling to find how the social action approach to a multicultural education would fit in a first grade class. So thank you, and if you guys have any ideas, I would genuinely appreciate it. Thank you.